Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the No Guts, No Story podcast this morning. I'm obviously not Barb Pitcock. I am. My name is Dave Pitcock. I'm Barb's husband, and I am super excited to get to share with you guys some things this morning. Barb's been doing the 21 day mindset. We've kind of been doing it together. I've had the opportunity to jump on a few times, and we're going to continue that this morning. I have a powerful message this morning that literally changed my life. But I'm going to give everybody a chance to get popped on here. Welcome. Hope you guys are having a super good weekend and you're enjoying your cup of coffee or your juice or your shake or whatever you do in the mornings, not 9 o'clock on a Saturday morning. But I am very excited to pop on here and share some things with you guys. Like I said, the last 21 days, Barb has been sharing daily the 21 day mindset. And it's been some really great information. And I encourage you guys, if you haven't had a chance, you can go back and listen to those. So they're some of them are very good. Yeah. Here's a great thing. If you could get one sentence out of every day of the 21 day mindset, if you could just get one sentence a day, it would make a massive difference, and that's a really good goal. So, good morning, everybody. I am super excited to share this morning on the No Guts, No Story and continue on this 21 day mindset. Good morning, Tanya. Hey, Maria. Hey, Melinda Witt. What's up? Hey, Wayne Parks. Hey, Julie. Good to see you guys. Obviously, I am not Barb Pitcock. I am Dave Pitcock, her husband, and I am super excited and blessed to be able to bring you some info this morning. And I'm super excited because it's not just a No Guts, No Story. It is continuing on with the 21 day mindset. And I have a powerful message. I am so grateful I get to share. Barb is actually on Zooms in another room right now. So we have we're in the middle of some super fun stuff and launching a new company and a new product line, and we're doing what Barb and I do. We're having fun. We're having fun, and we are immersed in helping people and just having a good time. And bottom line that probably overshadows everything is just feeling good right now. That's really what we want to do, and I want you guys to too. So we've been going on. Oh, and I have to remind everybody. And Barb would be mad if I didn't. You guys share this if you feel good about it. If it's something you think could help people, share it. Because what's nice about it is you can also go back and listen to some of these things. And guys, you never know. You never know. In my life, I had a mentor, and I went to an event in Chicago, Illinois that I didn't have the money to go to. I sat in a room of about 5,000 people. And that day, 21 years ago, in 1993, it saved my life. It changed my life. It made me different. It helped me so much, and I'm still on that journey today. But it was a couple sentences. It was a couple sentences at that event that made the big difference for me. So I hope you guys get that sentence today. I really do. So a few days ago, yesterday, Barb talked about having some visualizations. And today we're going to talk about having a paradigm. We're going to talk about having a paradigm shift. And a paradigm is a way you look at things. You all, as human beings, including me, we are creatures of habit. And we love to not change. We like to stay set in our ways. We have a way that we do things. All of us do. You have a way that you wake up in the morning. You have a way that you get out of bed, how you brush your teeth, how you get in the shower, how you brush your hair. You have a way to do things. I had a guy, I was at a training once, and the guy said, "Well, all you men in the room, how do you shave your face?" And I'm thinking, how do I shave my face? And I was thinking about it, and he goes, "Tomorrow when you shave your face, I want you to change the razor to the other hand and see what happens." And it was so funny because I actually did that exercise, and I didn't cut myself, but I should have. But we're so set in our ways. Our minds, our memory are powerful. And they're powerful for a reason. They're there to help us and serve us. But on the flip side, if we're set in our ways and they're not serving us, do I have the freedom and the choice to change that? Can I change my paradigm? If my ways of thinking aren't serving me, can I change that? And that's what I want to talk about today, is that paradigm. A paradigm is a standard way you look at things. It's your focus. It's the way you do stuff. How you get in your car, when you put your seatbelt on, when you put it in drive. How many of you guys have been driving down the road and you kind of shake your head and you're like, "Oh, wait a second. How did I even get here?" How many of you have been driving down the road and you don't remember driving the last mile or two? That's because you've taken over. It's a habit. You know how to drive. You get in the car, you do the same thing every day, every time, every day, every time, and it gets from point A to point B. That's a good thing. That's a fantastic thing. But what if your way of looking at things, what if your set of ideas does not serve you? How many of you guys have been frustrated? You've been frustrated not only maybe in life, you've been frustrated in business, you've been frustrated in your job, you've been frustrated because you have this idea, but it's not this. It's frustration. 2 or 3 days ago, I had the opportunity to do the 21-day mindset, and we talked about getting over hangups. And man, I encourage you guys to re-listen to that because it really helps you define the challenge you're going through, reframing it so you feel good about it, finding the good so you can move on and release all the negative energy and learn the lesson. And so it's really, really good. That's a good training. I've listened to it probably 2 or 3 times every year of my life because I need to I need to re-listen to it all the time to keep me on track. And I know yesterday Barb talked about visuals, and at the end of today I'll talk about that a bit. But think about how many times in your life have you wanted to get ahead? You set a goal, you get excited about something, almost like a New Year's resolution, but then it doesn't happen. Or you wake up 4 days from now and you go, "Oh my gosh, 5 days ago, I was going to change how I eat. I was gonna wake up and do yoga. I was gonna stretch in the morning. I was gonna do my Bible studies and I was gonna put good things in every morning, and I forgot." How many of you have ever felt that way? You're frustrated because you haven't had that paradigm. The shift hasn't happened. That shift hasn't happened yet. You want it to happen. I want to be healthy. I want to lose weight. I want to put the right stuff in. I want to be happy at work. I want to make, a decent living so I can do and be and have the things I love. I don't need to be rich. Just let me be, do, and have the things I love. Then I'm good. And then like, okay, maybe I got to be rich to do all that stuff. But do you guys feel that? Do you feel that frustration that maybe you've had at times? And here's where that comes from. It's just our way of thinking. That's it. It's all it is our way of thinking. As human beings, we have the choice, and most of us never take it. Most people never take the choice to make a decision to truly be and feel how you want to. And you can. It's a choice. And the reason you won't make that choice is this paradigm. You haven't shifted yet. We're set in our ways. I have this energy level in my body, and my energy is this way. I grew up and live in Western Kansas, middle of Western Kansas, right down the road from Barb Bolt. I see her. I'm here. And guys, and out where I live, a lot of farming community. And you know what? The phrase, "Oh, they're just set in their ways." That's every day. That's everybody. They're just set in their ways, and people like that. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. That's a good thing. Good thing to be set in your ways. But is your set of ideas, is your standard way of looking at things serving you? That's my question. And if it's not, can I have that paradigm? I want to tell you guys a quick story, and I think this story is going to help you tremendously. It helped me so, so much. And I go back to it all the time. And when I do some exercises about, releasing things and getting rid of negative energy and all this stuff, this comes up a lot because this to me is a powerful, powerful story. And some of you guys have maybe heard this before, but there's a race. Oh, and again, please share this with someone. If Barb doesn't, if I don't remember to tell you guys to go up in the corner and follow the page and share with people you might think would love this, But Barb will be upset at me. This is Barb's No Guts, No Story. I have to deliver on this. So you guys make sure and share this with people if you think they could, if this could, you could help a few people. But there's a race that's run in Australia, and it's not a marathon. It's called a ultra marathon. This story is the ultimate paradigm story. And I want you to put yourself and think of your life when I tell you this story of the things that you could, what things are you thinking that if you maybe had an open mind and had that paradigm shift, floodgates would open, a new path would open, a new fork in the road would open. A lot of us are set on one single path, and it's because we're set in our ways. It's where I grew up. It's how I was raised. It's who I was taught. It's what my coach said. It's what my teacher said. It's what my preacher said. It's what everybody else has said. We get on social media. It's what everybody else around us says. You listen to the news. It's what everybody in the world says. Guys, the only thing that controls, you can get in your head, there's only two things that can get in your head: the outside world and you. Nothing else. Nothing else. So every single thing that is going on, that choice you have to have that paradigm, to be able to open those floodgates, to feel good every day. That's the ultimate goal, is to feel good right now. Feel good right now. Just feel good now. If I feel good now, it all works out. The problem is we get stuck in our ways. We have a negative thought. Somebody gets in our way, and we go down this different path. And I'm telling you guys, I'm encouraging you guys, don't go down that path. You don't have to. It's your choice. It's your choice, but you don't have to. As a human being, your gift you were blessed with is to think on your own and have your own choice. And unfortunately, 90% of the world does not do that. They allow social media, the news, influence outside to mess up who they truly are. And I'm encouraging you guys to have a paradigm shift today. So there's a race. There's a race that's run in Australia every year. It's not a marathon, it's an ultra marathon. And this ultra marathon, people come from all over the country. It's 544 miles. I want you guys to get this: 544 miles, ultra marathon. Takes days. I mean, it takes like 7, 8, 9 days. People run this race. They run the race during the day. They camp out right when at a certain time. They fall asleep. They get some hours of sleep. They wake up. They keep running the race. Imagine, I know, but we have a dear friend, Kristen Hodney. She just went to New York City and ran a marathon. And I watched her progress and her story and her whole and her journey. And it was fun to watch. But every time I watched it, I kept thinking to myself, man, what a commitment to be able to know you're going to go run 20 some miles. Like that's an amazing commitment, a marathon. Well, this ultra marathon is run from Sydney to Melbourne, 544 miles. And the most elite runners in the world come to this. They come, they show up, they run it, and it's quite a ultra marathon, 544 miles. What can I say? Well, one day a man showed up, and he was a potato farmer. And guys, please get this. This is the ultimate paradigm. You all can have this paradigm shift in your life. His name was Cliff Young. He was 61 years old, and he's a potato farmer. And on his farm, they have 2,000 sheep, and their farm is 2,000 acres. And he's never run a race before, but he heard about the race. He shows up. All of these elite athletes in their very slick clothes and branded clothes, sponsorship clothes, running shoes, they're signing up at the table. They're getting their numbers for their back and their front so they can run the ultra marathon. They've trained for years to do this. That is their mindset. Guess what? That is their paradigm. Their paradigm is, this is how you run. This is how an elite athlete prepares. This is how an elite athlete wins this race. That is their paradigm, their set of ideas. They know how to do it. They know how to do it. They're professionals at it. And everybody's checking in, and here comes Cliff Young. Cliff Young walks up to the table. He has on a pair of trousers, a cotton t-shirt, overalls, and galoshes. And he says, I want to run this race. And you guys, after this, you fact check me. One of the most fascinating, this story's bookmarked in my phone so that I reread it and re-listen to it 2 or 3 times a year. It's that powerful because it reminds me that I can have this paradigm shift. Cliff Young checks in and everybody kind of laughs at him. And he said, I'd like to sign up for the race. And the lady's like, this is the ultra marathon race. This isn't just like the little race. This is the ultra marathon race. He goes, yes, I know. I'm excited. I want to sign up. And he was 61 years old, and they literally were worried about him signing up for his health reasons. So Cliff Young signs up, and he shows up at the day of the race. And the gun goes off, and the race starts. All these elite athletes take off, and away goes Cliff right with him. And in the first few hours, everybody pretty well writes Cliff off because everybody is blowing him away. The first night, everybody rests and falls asleep. Well, what happened, Cliff and his running partner set an alarm on their phone and they messed the time up. And instead of getting 6 or 7 hours of sleep and waking up and continuing to run, he woke up at 2 a.m., got a couple hours of sleep, and just continued to run. And what happened is he realized he could run and didn't need a lot of sleep. And he didn't run, though, you guys. Get this. This is a phrase that was coined. It was the Cliff Young shuffle. He didn't run, he shuffled. He had on overalls and galoshes. He's a 61-year-old potato farmer. He said, on our farm, we couldn't afford tractors and horses. If a thunderstorm was coming in and I had to gather the sheep and some of the sheep got lost, I ran after them, sometimes for 2 or 3 days, but I could always find them. Guys, true story. He's running the race. And everybody is the paradigm. The only way, you guys, the only way you can win this ultra marathon or even finish it by all means is there's a certain way to do it. It's a set of ideas. There's a standard way. And you don't break that standard way, your body couldn't handle it. Guys, how many of you have been in business or in life that you thought you had this way to do it, but as you thought that, your business went down, your income went down, your energy went down, your feelings went down, but you know that's the way to do it. Guess what? It's not the way to do it. And as human beings, we have this human nature to never give up. And that's a good thing when it's working for you, but it's detrimental when it's not. Cliff Young, you guys, Cliff Young finished the race. He finished the race in just a little less than 6 days. Imagine that. Imagine running a race for 6 days. And here's the deal. He didn't, first of all, he finished the race. Nobody could believe he would finish the race. But guys, Cliff Young, he won. He won the ultra marathon at 61 years old in overalls and galoshes. You know what? Everybody had this crazy paradigm. Because Cliff didn't sleep. He just ran. He did this little shuffle, just did this little shuffle. You've heard the story of the tortoise and the hare. He was definitely the tortoise. He just had this little Cliff Young shuffle, galoshes, overalls, little cotton t-shirt, thinking about catching the sheep. Guys, he didn't only win the race. Get this. He broke the record by 2 days. He beat everybody, the most elite athletes in the world, by 2 days. You know why? Because Cliff didn't have a set of ideas on how you run the race. Cliff just had his own ideas of how he gathered sheep. He followed that set of ideas and he blew everybody away by 2 days. Here's what's crazy. Athletes now, today, when you watch the ultra marathon from Sydney to Melbourne in Australia, you'll notice they've adopted the Cliff Young shuffle. They've adopted a new way to run and win that race. Guys, that's a paradigm. That's a different way to look at things. And my question is this. If you could look at things different, If you could change things and look at things 1% different, and it made a 60% difference in your life, why wouldn't you? And the reason is because we're human beings. The reason is because we are creatures of habit. And I know, as a child, I can't walk yet. When I learn to walk, it becomes my habit. My habit of walking and balance. This is just who I am. It's my mannerisms, my posture. I have habits. I have habits when I get in my car. I have habits when I brush my teeth. I have habits when I sit down and eat food. We all have habits. Our brains are designed that way. There's little wires and dendrites and memory and gray matter where you remember everything. I mean, how many of you can't remember what you had for supper last night, but you can remember an old phone number from 20 years ago? Everything's there. It wants to serve you, but we let all the other stuff not allow us to release all that energy that's bad to let the good flow. We need a paradigm shift. And I'm going to tell you guys how to have that here in a second. You know, I was at a hotel years and years ago at an event, and I was sitting down eating dinner with four or five. There was 4 or 5 or 6 people there, and it was people from all walks of life. And we somebody got on the tangent of the business they were doing, and they were salesmen. And the two individuals were actually car salesmen, and we were just sitting talking, and we were talking about just the industries we were in, and I happened to be in the direct sales industry, and we were just talking, and the one guy that was in car sales, the other guy said, "Oh my gosh, I'm in car sales too," and he looked at the guy and he goes, "How is business for you?" And the guy said, "Oh my gosh, terrible. I have not sold a car in a couple months." He goes, "With the economy the way it is, I honestly don't know if I can keep being a car salesman." And it was a tough economy at the time, so they say. He goes, "I just don't know if I can keep doing it." He goes, "It's just tough. People don't have money. People don't want to buy cars. They come on the lot, they're negative. Nobody wants, I just can't sell a car." And it was funny. I just kind of shaking my head, and I looked at the guy that asked him that question, and I said, "Well, how about you?" I go, "You said you're in car sales. How's it going for you?" And that guy goes, "I hate to say it, but," he goes, "I have sold more cars in the last 2 months than I've ever sold in my life." He goes, "With the economy as bad as it is, people are needing reliable vehicles." And he goes, "People are so excited to come on the lot and have a little bit of pop." It was like night and day. And here's the crazy thing, guys. These two individuals lived within 30 miles of one another. They lived within 30 miles of one another, both car salesmen, both in the same business. One of them hasn't sold a car in 2 years or in a couple months, not sure he can stay in the business. The other one has had the best 2 months of his life. What's the difference? Guys, what's the difference? It's the paradigm. It's how one individual is thinking about things and making them happen, and how another person's thinking about things and then they're not happening. One of the greatest things I ever listened to was Earl Nightingale. Earl Nightingale, "The Strangest Secret." And good morning, Callie Pitcock. I know I should. I know I should be. It's hard for me to watch chats and comments as I talk. I think I can only do one thing at a time in my life. But good to see everybody on here. I obviously am not Barb Pitcock. I'm Dave Pitcock, and Barb is busy. She's on Zooms. We're entrenched in launching a super fun new company. We're just she's busy. So I get the privilege of popping on here today. And like I said before, if you feel like anybody can benefit from this, please share it. And you can also go back the last 2, 3, 4 days, 20 some days, honestly, as this is continuing on our 21-day mindset. And today's mindset is paradigm. But I want you guys to think. Here's an example. Excuse me. I love to fish. I grew up in the middle of Kansas, and we went fishing a lot. Every Saturday morning, I remember, actually every Sunday morning, I remember as a kid, we would go to my grandparents' house and we would eat dinner. And when dinner was done, about 12:30, 12:45, 1:15, we jumped, me and my dad, my brother, and sometimes my grandpa, we jumped in the truck. We went fishing. We went down to the river. I went fishing every week of my life. In high school, a lot of people like to go out and party, and they did all what they did. I like to go fishing. I would get a tent. I'd go stay at the river. I love to fish, set trout lines, catch catfish, go to ponds, catch crappie. I'm an outdoor nut. I love to fish. If I have an addiction, it's fishing and probably coffee. I hate to say it. But when you fish for crappie, there's the best way. And the best way to catch crappie is to put a minnow on a hook. There's not a better way. And if you want to, you can also use these little canyon jigs. That's how I grew up. My paradigm is there is only a couple ways to catch crappie. Okay? I am in Oklahoma right now on Grand Lake of the Cherokees in Grove, Oklahoma. Barb and I have a home down here. It's kind of our just love it here. Had a friend many years ago tell us about it. We vacationed a few times. Brought our family here. It was amazing. So we bought a house and we come here. I have a boat sitting down on the dock. Great crappie lake. Dave set in his ways my paradigm how to catch crappie. I go out, I find a few crappie spots. I buy this map I don't know anything about the lake. I buy this map on where some good crappie spots be. Crappie like habitat. They like trees. They like boat docks. They like stuff they can hide in. And I go out, I have me a bucket of minnows and I go fishing. You know what? I catch 4 or 5 little bitty crappie. There's a 10-inch limit here at the lake. They're less than 10 inches, got to throw them back. So I catch some fish, but I have to throw them all back. I go to the bait store, the sports shop, to get me some new little canyon jigs. They're these little rubber tubes that go on a hook, lead hook, and they're just a tiny little canyon jig. And I like the purple ones. Purple seems to always be good. So I go buy me some purple jigs. Go out and go fishing. I don't catch a thing. I'm like, what is wrong? I'm crappie Dave. Like I catch fish. I know what I'm doing. And I'm at the sports shop one day and I'm looking at the other lures and the guy there said, what you shopping for? How can I help you? I go, I'm just looking for some new crappie jigs. And he said, oh, well, he goes, they're biting on this and this, and here's some good colors. And he threw me this and he said, oh, and make sure you get you some nibblers. And I'm like, what the heck's a nibbler? Never heard of a nibbler in my life. He goes, oh, there's these tiny little, and they smell horrible. They smell like fish. They're these tiny, can you see that? Tiny, tiny little sparkly nibbler. He goes, oh yeah, you just put one of those on your canyon jig. It helps you catch fish. This was a year and a half ago. Guys, I got my crappie nibblers, $4 for the bottle, which lasts probably a month. I went out with my canyon jigs, not the best way, which is minnows. I went out with my canyon jigs, put my crappie nibblers on, and I caught my limit of big, big crappie in a couple hours. Massive mindset change. Dave had a massive paradigm switch. What if I'd have been set in my ways and the guy threw me the nibblers and I'd be like, Oklahoma people, crappie nibblers. Who are you? I'm from Kansas. We know how to fish. You don't need crappie nibblers. You know what? I'd have went fishing. I wouldn't caught any fish. But I'd have thought I was right. So I felt good about myself. How many of us do that? How many of us do that in our businesses? How many of you have been in a business or a workplace or you're doing what you're doing and it's not working out, but you just don't change? People hate change. Man, my wife, Barb, says that all the time. She's like, Dave, people don't like to change. And I'm like, I know, but sometimes people need to change, but it has to be their choice. Has to be their choice. I started using crappie nibblers, guys. I don't know if I could catch a crappie without these darn things now. That was a major paradigm shift for me. So, how, let's wrap this up. How, if I want to make a paradigm shift, if I am frustrated, and I don't mean frustrated, guys, I mean, maybe you just want more. I mean, here's my question. Do you guys feel good all the time? Do you feel good all the time? And people are always like, Dave, that's the life. You don't feel good all the time. Negative is a way of life. That positive thinking stuff is crazy. No, it's not. Feeling good right now serves you. And if you feel good now, then I feel good today, and I feel good tomorrow, and I feel good during the week and the month and the year, and all of a sudden I have a feel good life because I feel good right now. If I don't feel good right now, then I'm kind of angry and I'm mad and I'm upset and I have grief and I have despair and I have all these feelings that are negative that don't allow me to be who I am. You gotta release that stuff. And here's how you release it. Like I said, 3 or 4 days ago, I did an exercise, and I encourage you to go back and listen to it. It was talking about getting over hangups. Here's what all a hang up is, guys, is a way that you're doing things or a way of thinking or something that came across your life that's not serving you how it should be. I go out and go fishing. I want to catch crappie. I go out and fish for a couple hours. I don't catch any. Guess what? That's a hang up. I'm hung up. I went fishing. I wanted to catch fish. I didn't catch any. Oh, I'll go out and try it tomorrow the exact same way, and then I'll be frustrated tomorrow too because it didn't work. You know, they say the definition of insanity is doing the same things over and over and over again, but expecting different results. How many of us do that? I still do it. That's why I need this. We're human beings. You know, we eat food every day. We eat meals 2 and 3 times a day. How often do you feed your mind? How often do you feed that part? You know, what is more important? Your mindset or the physical part? What's more important? Don't they go together? Why don't we learn in high school? Why don't we learn in middle school? Why don't we learn as we grow up how powerful mindset is? And we just never learn this. We don't learn it in life until we get so beat down that you're so low in the ground, there's no other way to look but up. And maybe that is part of human nature. Maybe that is the journey we're supposed to be on, so we do appreciate it later. I don't know. But I'm just telling you guys, all of you have felt amazing. You know what that feels like. Wouldn't you want to feel like that all the time? You know, even nutritionally, most people don't know how bad they feel until they start to feel a little bit better. You know, couple, it's I went down a path a year and a half ago, where had a lot of stuff happening in my life. I let my health go, and I weighed more than I wanted, and I thought I was still really good and active. I thought I was still okay. You know, tiny little things that happen over time, you don't really pay attention to them. And I got up to 211 pounds, 212 pounds, and I'm 5'9", and I'm 53 years old. And 212 pounds is not good. I wore it well. I could buy an extra large T-shirt and put it on. I'd wear it well, but I was overweight, and I work all day on my feet. I run around, so I didn't think a lot about it. And I went and met a friend, and we talked about some nutritional things and this and that. And I got on some good products. I changed my mindset. I actually saw my friend, and he'd lost like 45 pounds. And I hadn't seen him in a couple years. And I said, "My gosh, what are you doing?" And he said, "Oh my gosh, I just changed this and this and this." And I go, "Well, I need to try that." And I did. I didn't know what having good energy was until I started to have really good energy. I thought I had good energy. I thought I could go during the day. And guys, I went from 212 pounds to 176 pounds. I lost about 40 pounds, changing a couple little simple things. And it worked for me. But during that process, I go back now, and oh my gosh, Facebook memories. I don't know how to turn them off. I wish I could turn them off. I don't want to see some of that stuff. I see memories from 2 and 3 years ago of this man that was very bloated. My face was this big, and I'm like, who is that guy? Like, I don't recognize that. But isn't it funny that when you're in that time, you don't think anything's wrong? Because we're human beings and we have our own way of looking at things. This is my set of ideas, my method of operation. This is Dave Pitcock's way. This is how I drive. It's how I eat. It's how I wake up. It's how I answer the phone. These are the things I do. Don't mess with my way of living. We're human beings. That's how we are. It's how we're wired. And it's to serve us and help us so we can survive. But if it's not serving you, and we're allowing outside stuff to come in and mess us up mentally and physically, what's it going to take for you to have that paradigm shift, like everybody that watched Cliff Young win the race. I mean, a 61-year-old potato farmer that's never run a marathon won the ultra marathon and beat the record by 2 days because he didn't have a set of ways like everybody else. Everybody else's set of ideas was wrong. But they weren't wrong. They just weren't as good as Cliff's. Cliff ran in overalls and galoshes. Shouldn't have happened. Guys, those lessons, the two car salesmen, 30 minutes away, one selling cars, making more money than he's ever made, one is not. How many of you guys have been in a business like that? You see other people being successful. You see other people achieving things, but yet you're not. It's not you. It's your way of thinking. That way of thinking needs a 1% switch. Just 1%. 1%. What if 1% made a 60% difference? Same boat, same lake, same fishing pole, same lure. Catch no fish. Same boat, same lake, same fishing pole, same time of day, same lure. Nibblers catch lots of fish. 1% difference, I fill my boat with fish. No nibblers, no fish. Think about it. What one little thing can you change? And I'll tell you what it is. It's the thinking. It truly is your thinking. And Barb talked yesterday about visualization, and that's why I wear this. This is a little energy bracelet, and I wear it not as much for the energy as I do the reminder. Because one, you probably saw me during the live, like all day, it's loose. It's loose for a reason because it goes up my arm and it feels weird, and I'm always shaking it. It's like this habit. I start shaking it, but I tie this to something. This is tied to my attitude. This is tied to my way of thinking. It always puts me on the track I need to be on. 15 years ago, I had a guy talk to me about that, and I don't have my phone with me. But if you want to change and you set goals and you've had these New Year's resolutions and you want to get better, you want to have that better change, but you're the person that then 4 days later you go. I mean, how many of you go to the store, you go to a Walmart, you got your list, you buy your stuff, you get home and you're like, oh my gosh, I needed that one thing. And you go to Walmart 6 more times before you actually get the one thing. A lot of us live our lives that way. We want to do something. I want to be good. I want to feel good, Dave. I want to lose some weight. I want to feel good. I need that energy. I want to feel good every day. And you want it right now. But then tomorrow it doesn't happen. Or in 2 hours, something happens and it doesn't happen. Or something's going on in your life right now and it doesn't happen. You need to define that hang up. You need to figure out what that is when you're not feeling good, and you need to fix it. And the way to fix it is you lie to yourself if you have to, but you find the good. You find the good. If it's a family issue, if it's maybe a loss of a loved one. I lost my mom a year ago. 1 year ago yesterday, I lost my mama. And that was hard for me. And 20 years ago, I lost my younger brother to suicide. He was 4 years younger than me, my only brother. He took his own life. Those were hard times in my life. There are people, and we're all the same. We all lose loved ones. We all go through challenges. We all go through tragedies. Guys, we all go through the same emotions. The situations might be different, but we all experience the same emotions. We all get sad. We all get glad. We all get happy. We all get mad. We all get angry. We're all the same. Some people can get through that, and some people have that energy tucked down inside. And a lot of people say that energy, that feeling, that's dis-ease in your body. And you can put those two words together. And that's why people start not feeling good. Because, being angry today is okay. But being angry every day for 2 months straight, that's not okay. That will affect you. And the way to get through that, the way to get over that, it's to ask yourself, and I don't care if you call it prayer, meditation, I don't care what it is. You're in there. The real you that wants this ridiculously amazing life to feel good every day. That's why you're born. That is you. And it's there. And it's begging. It's begging. Let's have a paradigm. Let's move the right direction. Let's feel good. Let's get to feeling good. When I lost those few pounds on my journey, I'm like, I only thought I had energy. And then you take some good nutrition on top of that, and you're like, and now this is how life should be. It's not that it's extraordinary. No, that's normal. You normally should be able to feel good every day of your life and accomplish things you want. That is your gift. That's your gift. Barb had some visualizations yesterday. And I remember back in the day on my phone, I took a red drop of nail polish. And I put this one tiny little drop of nail polish on my phone. And it made me, every time I'd look at my phone, it was in my way. But every time I touched it, I tied that little drop of nail polish to some of my goals. And I had to think about my goals literally 50 times a day. And I'm going to tell you the most powerful thing you can do. And it sounds ridiculous. And people who setting goals is almost an oxymoron. When the law of attraction came out and The Secret came out years ago, it was overwhelming. People read it and like, this is amazing. And then in 2 weeks, people are like, this is terrible. It doesn't work. You know, setting goals is defining what you want. Please get this. This is my daily life. And if I don't do this, I struggle. And man, when I go down a rabbit hole, I can struggle. I can be depressed. I do have that personality. I can be an angry person. I have that personality. I'm real. I'm a real person. But I want to feel good. I want to be full of hope and love and giving and let's go and energy. I want to be there, and it takes work. But your goals aren't just things you write down. And I'll end with this. Your goals are something that makes the hair on the back of your head raise up. My son sent me, I wish I had my phone. My son sent me pictures yesterday. And it was about 40 pictures of a $3 million home in Arizona. And he sent me those pictures and said, I'm going to have this. He said, Daisy and the kids and I just went to Walgreens and we're printing out every one of these pictures and plastering them in the house. He goes, I'm going to have this. That's a burning desire. When you know what you want and it's in front of you all the time. And 20 some years ago, it was pictures. My mentor said, Dave, put the pictures in front of you, the things you want. The more you can remind yourself, the faster you'll get it. And I'm telling you, that was my life. That is how I got the things I got. I didn't have to stay how I was. I listened to good stuff every day. I worked hard on myself. But find things. I want you to find something today. I want you guys to take a sheet of paper today, and I want you guys to write down 2 or 3 goals that you really, really are passionate about, something you want to accomplish. Maybe it's in your workplace. Maybe it's a new business. Maybe it's a new venture. Maybe it's a health goal. Maybe it's an energy goal. Maybe it's I want to get some stuff done goal. Whatever it is, I want you to write these things down. And I want you to do something. Whether it's a postcard, I used to have a postcard on the visor of my pickup. And that postcard on the visor of my truck, I hauled oak furniture for a living. So I was in my truck 10 hours a day. And when I popped my visor down, all I saw was my goals. There were only 2 or 3 of them. And it wasn't massive things. It was just lines of what I wanted. And I was going to have it. And these things are mine. And I'm excited about it. I saw them 5, 10, 15 times a day. And when I go back to look at my list from the mid 1990s, I have lists of white sheets of paper that say Dave's wildest goals and dreams across the top, because that's what my mentor told me to write. And I wrote them down. And I go back and look at those lists in my Rubbermaids, my totes I have, and I've accomplished everything on those lists. And it's not that some of them are grand things at all. But you know what? They were grand to me, and I accomplished them all. Because they were in front of me. It was my focus. And I'm telling you this, guys, the more laser focused you are on those things, guess what just happened? The outside stuff can't mess with you anymore. Social media can't mess with you. The outside influences, outside noise, the 24-hour news stations, the wars, the stuff going on, doesn't mess with you because you can't focus on that. You're too focused on the things that you want to happen for you. And I tie that to things in my life. I still have things in my truck. I have this on my deal. I have routines that I do so that I know that it reminds me to do the things that I want to get accomplished. And I encourage you guys to do that today. Find something for you. Barb used to put a rubber band on her hand. And every time she'd say something negative, we made it a game. It was funny. Every time we would say something negative, we'd snap ourselves with the rubber band. And eventually we had to take them off because our wrists were like all welted up and stuff. But find something, whether it's if you wear a watch, take some nail polish and put a dot on your watch. If it's your phone, put something on your phone physical that you, when you touch it or look at it, that you're like, oh man, but tie that. Write down what you want, write down your goals. And here's why the law of attraction and the secret are so powerful. They work if you do it. It's just most people don't do it. They write down their goals. Ha, got them wrote down. Here they are. I put them in my notebook. Oh, I got them. I know. It's going to be so exciting. It's like going to Walmart. 4 days later, like, oh yeah, I wrote that down. No, 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 no. No, your goals and dreams, the things that you're going to get, are a burning desire. Your eyes well up with tears. Your hair on the back of your head. Crappie fishing? Yeah, makes the hair on the back of my head raise up. Catching 2-pound crappie, a full limit, that makes the hair on the back of my head raise up. It's a little thing, guys. And whether it's paying off bills or washing your car or mowing the yard or you're starting a new business or you're buying a home, I don't care what it is. It makes you feel good. You know, I'll end with this. There were, and I've said this so many times and it makes so much sense, but there were three, back in the day, three gods, not to be sacrilegious, but just the story that said, we have found the secret to mankind. We found the secret to mankind. If this gets out, it's over. Man won't have to work. Man will be happy. Everybody will have everything absolutely perfect. We have to hide the secret. And the one God said, well, we'll take it to the deepest depths of the oceans we possibly can. They'll never get that deep. It's miles and miles down there. We'll hide it under a crevice. They'll never find it. And the other one said, they will. Someday, thousands of years from now, we can't do that. And the other one said, we'll take it to outer space. We'll put it out in outer space as far as it can be. They said, nope, man will get there eventually. They'll get there. Might be thousands of years. They will get there. And the other one said, I know the exact place to put it. The secret to all your happiness and all the things you want, he goes, we're going to hide it inside of man's mind. Because it is the last place he'll ever look. Because he lets everything else run his life instead of himself. And I really want you guys to do that checkup today. Are you running your life? What standard ways are you thinking that you've done for so long that maybe might not be serving you? And maybe the ones that are serving you, fantastic. But if you want more, if you want better, if you want to feel better, if you want more energy, if there's things you want, I'm telling you, write them down. This is how you have the paradigm. The paradigm is I write them down and I remind myself of them every day. And how you remind yourself, I'm telling you, find something physical. Find something physical, put on a necklace, put on a deal, put something on your phone that when you touch your phone, it rubs you. Whatever it is, find something and tie that to, that's what I want to do. That's what I want. That's what I want. Maybe it's a monthly income you want. Maybe you're looking at a different home. Maybe you're wanting to move. Maybe it's the hobby you love. Maybe you love to golf. Maybe you like to fish like me. Maybe you want a new fishing boat. If a new fishing boat was my burning desire right now, and I had that wrote down on my paper, I would have pictures of it. I would look at it online. It'd be Pinterest. I have the background on my phone. And when I pick my phone up and I scroll and I hit that or I shake my thing, I'll be like, that dang boat. That dang boat. 15, 20 times a day, all I'm thinking about is this boat. Guys, that's how it works. That is the law of attraction. But you have to do things to make yourself think of those things. And it's the hardest part. It is the hardest part. 100% the hardest part is putting yourself in a position where you're thinking about it all the time. So, guys, I hope you got something out of today. Please comment and let Barb know that today was good. I always, when she invites me to do stuff, I always want to go over the top. And it's funny, she's still on lives in the other room where, like I said, we're launching we have been in the world of nutrition our whole lives, and we have just fell into and found some great nutrition that we are just super excited to share with the world. And we've been dialing into that And she has just been nonstop on Zooms and working and working. So she asked me to pop on here today and help out with the 21 day mindset and also her No Goats, No Story. But you guys, share this with somebody if you feel that they could. They could benefit, but more than that, don't delay. Do something today, whether it's get one of these. Go, you know what? Go buy a fake pair of glasses that the lenses have no prescription in them, and wear them. Wear the glasses for a week and see what happens. Because every time you look and you see the glasses or you feel them, tie it to the thing you want, and that's what's going to happen. You'll get those things. Here's the problem: most of us, all of our lives, we tie everything to what we don't want. Why do 24-hour news stations work? They don't tell you positive things. All it is 24 hours of negative news. You know why people love it and watch it? Because it makes them feel better. Their lives are so lowly that other people's negative news makes me feel better. Man, if that's where you're at, you got to get out of that. You got to get out of that. You got to get out of that. Even your own family, these kind of things that are dear to you, if they're dragging you down, that's a you problem. That's not a they problem. It's a you problem. That's your thinking and your paradigm. And the only way you're going to switch that is to find the way you want to feel, find the physical things you want, find the mental way you want to feel, write it down, and remind yourself. Remind yourself 10, 15, 20 times a day. The more times a day, the better. And guys, you'll start to feel good right now. And if you're in major places where you're majorly stuck, go to 3 days ago and listen to Getting Over Hangups. Because when something happens and the car breaks or the tire's flat or road rage happens, somebody cuts you off, something happens, a loved one passes away, real life situations happen, you can deal with them. They're real life stuff. You can't ignore them. They're real life. But you know what? I can address it. I can define it. I can reframe it. Oh, I'm glad that guy cut me off. I'm glad it was me. He was going so fast. His wife must be pregnant. I'm glad. I hope he gets to the hospital on time. Woohoo! Good for him. My energy's good. I'm good. I feel good right now. Even though this terrible thing happened, I feel good right now. I reframed it. I'm moving on. Most people get caught off in traffic, they'll text 14 people and say, "You won't believe what happened to me today." Oh my. And then a week later, they're still telling the story. You can't attract anything like that. Stop. You have the ability to think and be and do and have anything you want. It's your gift, man. It's your gift. So, like I said, I love this stuff. It changed my life, and I still work on it every day of my life. It's a process, and you never quit. You don't do it once; you do it forever, every day. But if you do, you'll feel good. You'll be happy, healthy. You'll feel good, full of energy, and all the stuff that's going on. Guess what? It's gonna always go on, just like it's going on now. It's never gonna stop. Situations never change. Never change. Cars break down, people lose jobs, things happen. Situations never change, but how you think about it can. You've got to have that paradigm. Just like all the people that watch Cliff Young, that paradigm. Holy mackerel, that's a way of thinking. I can feel that way, and you guys can. So, with that said, I hope you guys had a great day. Share this if you got some good info, and please show Barb some love and let her know that this was a good day. You guys make it a great weekend. We'll talk to you later.